Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another stream. Now, everybody just calm the fuck down. Everybody take a deep breath. I know. There's a lot of things that are assaulting your senses right now, and I understand. I do, really. Um let's just address the elephant in the room here. Uh Now I know what you're thinking. Finally, my suspicions are confirmed that Greensif is a elite member of the lizard people, and he has been sent here to rule us by the reptilian overlords from Facebook and the United States Congress, things like that. But no, that's not the case. I have my nightly moisturizing mask on my face. And I also just got out of the shower, and let me just tell you, I exfoliate aggressively for obvious reasons. I mean, I don't have the best complexion, if you haven't noticed yet. If you haven't noticed, you should probably talk to your doctor about your eyes. Um, Regardless, yeah, I have my moisturizing mask on, so no, I'm not molting and shedding my previous layer of skin. And that's also not the reason I haven't been on for a couple days. I haven't been on for a couple days because simply I have been very busy at work. So I know, boring excuse, but until I'm a rich, famous content creator, yeah, I'm talking because obviously spooky. A lot of people believe I'm a reptilian overlord and a lizard person. There's some deep Greensif lore that you might not know about, but it's been discussed that I may or may not be a lizard person, but I'm here to confirm the suspicions tonight that I am not. I just have a moisturizing face mask on because I am going to bed tonight. So that's just, you know, that's that's just one of the many things that could be surprising you. Also, I don't have my normal lighting again because I would like to sleep, and the lights just really do a number on me after a little while. So I'm taking it easy on the lights. I'm not trying to blind myself tonight. I'm trying to relax. Number three thing that might be surprising you. I'm not playing Apex tonight. Again, because I want to sleep. No, absolutely not. I cannot sleep with lights on. Absolutely not. Uh, and it's not like I sleep in here. I have like a bedroom. This is just my studio. But I it's just the lights, they keep me up after I've already turned them off and tried to go to bed. So, let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah, number 3 is that I'm not playing Apex tonight. Keeps me up. Just can't stop thinking about all those sick nasty trick shots all night and not being able to win a game before I get offline actually keeps me up at night. Number 4 thing that might be shocking you is I'm not drinking Red Bull right now, which is pretty rare. I'm drinking herbal tea. Look at that. No caffeine. I know. I'm a changed man. Just kidding. This is just I felt an obligation to stream tonight because I was they're actually from no, they're poppies. It's a Starbucks mug and it's the May mug. It's got Taurus on it, which is my astrological sign. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, poppies are the flower for the month of May. So, and I don't know if the see, I've been told that this is obviously the tail of the bull, but I also noticed you can't tell because it looks like a 2. My camera is inverted horizontally, but to me, I think it looks like a 5. Like, cuz in real life it's actually a 5. For May, because May is the 5th month. So, yeah. I feel like there was something else. Oh yeah, I was going to address the fact that I haven't streamed in a couple days, but again, that's just because of work. I have to travel for work for the next couple days. Sip sip. Uh and I have to work 6 days in a row, and then I get 1 day off, and then I have to work 6 days in a row again after that. Both of those 6-day periods of time are in a city about 20 minutes away where I don't know anybody. And despite what you might see here in person, I'm not really the most outgoing. Strangely enough, I'm a lot more comfortable with strangers that I'm going to have to just like interact with for a short period of time. And like, I'm a lot more comfortable with them than I am with somebody that I'm going to have to work with for 2 weeks and then not see again. That's going to be kind of a hard social concept for me to grasp. So I've been stressing out about this for a couple days. I didn't know I had to do it until a couple days ago, though, to be fair. So, you know, whatever. Here, just for you, Spooky. Hold on. So anyway, I guess let's get on with the actual content here. And also, 5th or 6th, going to assault your senses, is green sipping ASMR. Well, I guess that's probably the best content because you can't go around telling people I'm a lizard person anymore because it's been debunked. So that's that. But yeah, you're right. So anyway, I don't remember where I left off without my audio. So, um, this was a video that was suggested to me on Discord. Thank you, Spooky. Yeah, I didn't add the source in OBS when I made this different overlay. Ooh. Ew. I don't know if my mic or my camera picked that up, but a giant beetle just landed on my leg and I killed it. I still haven't put the cover around my AC, so you know, it's that time of year. Beetle season. Speaking of which, this video about the Cicada Project, which I know of vaguely, was suggested to me on Discord, and they said I should watch it. And I remember right before I noticed my mic was cut off. Oh no, don't worry, Spooky, it's dead. I was exclaiming, "Holy shit, 25 million views. How does everybody know about this?" And I've never watched this video. So, yeah, we're going to go down some rabbit holes tonight. That's the plan. If this is super boring, I'll switch to a recommended video of the chat's choosing, which is just spooky, so. Oh. Failure number 2. That's not right. Let's see here. There we go.
On the 4th of January 2012, a user on 4chan posted this image to the site's infamous B.
That was incredibly loud.
The anonymous author, who went by the 4-digit pseudonym 3301, challenged users to uncover
if I'm not
a
mistaken,
message hidden within the image. Unbeknownst to those who stumbled across it, someone had just set in motion one of the most elaborate scavenger hunts the internet has ever seen.
I don't think I'm allowed to use full screen mode on Twitch.
Within minutes of the image being posted, someone discovered that by opening the file using a text editor, an appended string of readable text could be found. The string contained a cipher that, once deciphered, formed a link to yet another image. At first, this appeared to be a dead end, but using an application known as OutGuess, users were able to extract hidden information embedded within the first image. The extracted information led to a subreddit, which in turn contained information about the book. The book, along with a code, could then be used to uncover a phone number that, when called, played this pre-recorded message.
Very good. You have done well. There are 3 prime numbers associated with the original final.jpg image. 3301 is one of them. You will have to find the other 2. Multiply all 3 of these numbers together and add a .com on the end to find the next step. Good luck. Goodbye.
Seems like they really handed that one away. Oh, we got an ad. That's cool.
So if you have plans, change them.
I was a big dumb idiot, and I bought YouTube Premium on my personal account and not my GreenZip account. So,
by the following day, the initial image had been reposted all over the internet.
This music's fire.
A growing community of armchair detectives sought to unravel this elaborate puzzle, but no one was quite sure what to make of it. What was the puzzle for? Who was behind it? What happens when you reach the end? Some naturally dismissed it as an elaborate joke,
probably
while
the
others
Illuminati
perceived its complexity
recruiting people.
as evidence against it being the work of a mere troll. Before long, rumors began to circulate that this could be the work of some secret society or intelligence agency with the intent of recruiting individuals proficient in cryptography, steganography, and other related fields.
Yeah, I pretty much was
Of
told
course,
that it was a
it
giant
was nothing but a rumor.
scavenger
The 2 missing
hunt.
numbers mentioned in the recording proved to be the dimensions of the original image. After multiplying the width and height with 3301 and using the product as a web address, users were taken to a website.
I actually might have gotten that right,
The website
because
consisted of a countdown as well as an image of a cicada. When the countdown reached 0, the page was updated with a list of coordinates. The
Ooh.
coordinates pointed to locations around the
Oh
globe.
my God.
14 locations in 5 different countries.
Oh
It
my
was now
God,
up
if
to
I was-
participants living near the specified coordinates to rise from their comfortable armchairs and venture outside.
I
Those
would
who
have been
believed
so
Cicada to be
hyped.
the work of an organization now felt their beliefs had been justified. In their opinion, only some international collective possessed the means and resources to create a scavenger hunt of this magnitude. This was not the work of your average troll. No, this had to be something else.
Yeah,
At
you
each
could. If you
location
had
was a
members in a
poster with the
Discord, you
cicada
could send them an
symbol and a
email.
QR code.
Be like, print this out and
On
put
the
it
bike shelter over here. See, I got a
here.
right there.
Like,
Oh. You can see the corners. As you say, I just kind of ripped it off.
The codes linked to an image, the image contained a riddle, the riddle led to a book, and the book led to a website.
okay.
But here, the puzzle took an unexpected turn. Only a select group of first arrivals to this website were accepted into the final stage of the puzzle. The site eventually closed down with the message, "We want the best, not the followers." The finalists
Ooh.
were also warned
Sick
not
burn,
to
bro.
collaborate with others nor to share the details of this private stage of the puzzle. Well, given that we know this, it's safe to say that not everyone heeded that warning. But those who did presumably advanced through the final stages before reaching the very end of the puzzle.
Alright, sounds good, Spooky.
After nearly a month of silence, an image appeared on the subreddit announcing the conclusion of the puzzle, and just like that, the
How many
hunt
upvotes did it
was
get?
over. Cicada had supposedly found the highly intelligent individuals they were looking for, and whatever happened to them is a bit of a mystery, but
Well,
more on
highly
that in a
intelligent
moment.
is kind of a
The
stretch.
complete
I mean,
lack of an explanation was
highly
perceived
committed,
by many as
maybe.
confirmation that the puzzle had been nothing but a wild goose chase intent on wasting everyone's time. After all, questions raised by the original image remained unanswered. What was the puzzle for? Who was behind it? What happens when you reach the end? However, as it later turned out, this was only the beginning.
that's the beginning, bro? What
Whomever
the fuck?
was behind this intricate game had the foresight to include an authentication code known as a PGP signature along with every clue. This allowed users to verify that an image or
That's
message
some
was
Linux
actually
shit.
from Cicada, as opposed to some imposter seeking to derail or hijack the puzzle. Cicada had repeatedly warned of such false paths and insisted
I
that
mean,
any
I
message
assume
lacking a
anybody,
valid
like, following
PGP
this
signature
and
should
trying to
promptly
figure
be
it out
disregarded.
probably was
That's
using
why
Linux.
This image,
but
posted exactly a year
maybe
and a
not.
day after the first, provoked such a frenzy. After a year of lackluster imitations, this image finally matched the official PGP signature. Cicada was back, and it was time for round 2. The second puzzle was not too dissimilar from the first. The image enclosed a message, the message led to a book, the book produced a link, and gradually the puzzle unfolded. At one point, a recording titled The Instar Emergence was uncovered.
Hope that doesn't get me DMCA'd.
Another clue led to a cryptic Twitter account, which then led to an image. The image proved vital to the progression of the puzzle, but the inclusion of this runic alphabet would remain a mystery for quite
It's
some
like
time.
runes in Skyrim.
Much like
I
the
would be a
first puzzle,
pro.
the second swelled
I used
into
to
the
know how
physical
to, like,
world when a
write
list of
the
coordinates
entire
compelled
alphabet
participants to
in
once
runes
again
from
take to
Skyrim.
the streets in search of enigmatic posters. This time it was 8 locations in 4 different countries. But eventually the trail went cold once again. Another select group of first arrivals had been accepted into a final private stage of the puzzle. Unlike the first puzzle, the second did not conclude with an official message from Cicada. The trail merely went cold and Cicada vanished once more, leaving us no closer to an explanation. However, this was still not the end.
Okay, now hold on a minute. Hold on. Because cicadas come out every 13 years. So when did this happen? When did this take place? Hold on a minute. I'm just gonna, just because I don't want to accidentally show anything, any confidential information. Not what I'm looking for, Google. When the Cicada Project was a series of unethical experiments in Okinawa, Japan, conducted by the Japanese government that occurred from January 7th to 1945 to August 6th, 1945. The purpose of these experiments was to see how long it would take for a human to go insane after listening to a cicada's mating call non-stop for 3 days. Which didn't actually happen, I don't think. It's on creepypasta.com. So, all right. I guess I have to be more specific. The third puzzle has yet to be solved. All right, so it started on January 4th, 2012. So my suspicion is that in 2025, the next news will break of the Cicada 3301 project. Wow. Whoa, that's a cool theory. Holy shit. Others have speculated that Cicada 3301 is an alternate reality game. Dark Web Cicada 3301, a film inspired by the organization, was released in 2021. Wow. That's incredible. That is incredible. Okay, back to the video.
At the beginning of 2014, it was time for round 3. Once again, the image enclosed a message, the message led to a book, the book produced a link, and suffice it to say, it was more of the same. Except this time, the puzzle seemed to revolve around a strange book. The book was titled Liber Primus, meaning first book in Latin, and was evidently written by Cicada. The runic alphabet uncovered in 2013 finally made sense, as the book was primarily written in runes. Even so, the meaning of the translated pages were cryptic at best. The book consisted of various philosophical and ideological ideas and appeared to be their manifesto. Many have since compared the strange writings to that of a cult. Nevertheless, the book also comprised a myriad of clues and codes. For example, this page advised participants to seek out a website on the deep web, but the site remains undiscovered. Another page led to a website containing yet another recording titled Interconnectedness.
I wouldn't say that they're musical masterminds. Oh. Wow.
However,
I mean, those are some
a
nice chords.
significant portion of the book has yet to be translated. The runic text on some of the pages appear to be obfuscated by layers of encryption that has yet to be decrypted. Of the 74 pages featuring runes, only 19 have been successfully translated. As 2015 came and went without the launch of a new puzzle, many came to suspect the Liber Primus had to be completed if Cicada was to return. This was more or less confirmed at the beginning of 2016 when Cicada encouraged a re-examination of the book.
Well, there's the
More than
tree.
4 years have now gone by with minimal progress and near complete silence from Cicada. Questions raised by the original image have gone ignored. What is the purpose of these puzzles? Who's behind them? What happens when you reach the end?
Not the end?
When the initial image appeared on 4chan back in 2012,
That was a misleading
many assumed Cicada
slide.
3301 to be an alternate reality game designed by a corporation to promote a new service or product. For example, Microsoft developed an elaborate ARG back in 2001 to promote the film Artificial Intelligence, and a similar viral marketing campaign was used to promote the release of Halo 2.
I remember
But the release
that.
of subsequent puzzles and the complete lack of commercialization has more or less eliminated that possibility. If we choose to believe some of the leaked information from the private end stage of each puzzle, then we do gain some insight into who this group might be. For example, at the end of the first puzzle, finalists supposedly received this email. In it, Cicada described themselves as an international group who believe that privacy is an inalienable right. The aim of each puzzle is to recruit like-minded individuals in an effort to develop privacy-conscious solutions. The email then concludes with 3 questions. The PGP signature, which would have confirmed the authenticity of the email, was conveniently removed by the leaker. If a version with a valid signature does exist online, I was unable to find it. But regardless of its legitimacy, I find this question a bit odd. It reads, "Do you believe that information should be free?" Assuming the expected answer is yes, then the very first sentence, "Do not share this information," seems a bit hypocritical. While the idea of a secret society recruiting individuals by means of elaborate cryptographic puzzles may seem a bit absurd or even conspiratorial, it's not entirely unfounded. Corporations and governments alike have employed similar recruitment techniques since at least the Second World War. In 2013, the British intelligence agency GCHQ launched a recruitment program known as Can You Find It? Participants had to decrypt a number of cryptograms hidden across the internet, and those who managed to solve the entire puzzle were offered a prize or a position at the agency. Google did something similar with enigmatic billboards back in 2004, and the US Navy launched a near-identical project in 2014. Okay, but then what about the recruits? Why have we not heard from these chosen few? Well,
part of a cult
we
now,
have.
man.
It's just that separating a legitimate finalist from an imposter is virtually impossible. In a 2015 interview with Rolling Stone, 2 alleged winners of the first puzzle chronicled the events beyond the final stage. After receiving an email from Cicada, they were taken to a forum on the dark web. Here they could communicate with 20-some-odd recruits as well as a handful of established members of Cicada. They were told that Cicada 3301 had been founded by a group of friends who shared common ideals about security, privacy, and censorship. The goal was to work as a collective to develop software applications in line with that ideology. As friends recruited friends, this secret society quickly expanded into a decentralized international organization. The recruits were then tasked with developing software that fit the ideology of the group, and members of Cicada would oversee their progress. But without the allure of a puzzle to be solved, the recruits quickly lost interest. By the end of
How the fuck-
2012, all but one had left, and a few months later, the site was
How the fuck do you get recruited into an international secret society and you're like, oh, I know I just decrypted all of these, mind-boggling puzzles and went out and found a physical poster in the world using GPS coordinates. But I have to write things. I have to work. Nah, I'll pass. What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? You're telling me you had a chance to be in the Illuminati and you're like, oh, work? Nah. That's people really are lazy.
Was gone. They never heard from Cicada again. One of the two winners, named Marcus Wanner, later elaborated further in a video by YouTuber Nox Populi. Furthermore, Nox Populi himself claims to be a winner of the second puzzle, so I reached out to him and this is some of what he had to say. After completing the final stages of the second puzzle, Nox Populi received an invitation to join Cicada 3301. However, he was not invited to a
And then I posted a video all about it and leaked all of the information, and for some reason they never called me back.
website but was instead merely told to be patient. Then, around May of 2013, all communication with Cicada abruptly ceased. This was around the same time as when the website dedicated to the winners of the first puzzle was suddenly taken down. Nox Populi later contacted other winners of the second puzzle to compare notes, and their experiences were identical. In his own words, all the stories were the same. We were invited to join 3301, then something happened, and silence followed a request for patience.
Yeah, you joined the
Nox
Losers
Populi
Club.
supposed that roughly 5 others completed the second puzzle, in contrast to the 20-odd winners of the first. In regards to who or what Cicada is, Nox Populi believes they could be a remnant of the cypherpunk movement of the late 80s and 90s. Essentially a small group of activists advocating widespread use of strong cryptography and privacy-enhancing technologies, but he admits that there is no way to know for certain.
Well,
If you
yeah,
want a
that's
far
kind of
more
the point, isn't it?
comprehensive walkthrough of these puzzles as opposed to my brief overview, Nox Populi has produced a number of
Wow.
videos on his channel which I highly recommend.
That sounds like a
While
rabbit
these
hole if
accounts
I've
cannot
ever
be
heard one.
verified, they do make for a very compelling argument as to what Cicada is. A group of anonymous developers seeking to develop privacy-conscious
Hey everyone, I'm starting this series.
Look, I'm not super invested in the whole Cicada thing because I think he's either one, lying to gain publicity. He's only got 129,000 views, so I mean it didn't really work that well. But I'm more interested in wow. That's all he's got? I'm more just interested in what else he has on his channel. Hmm. Alright, those links don't work. 2012 article. Rolling Stone, what the fuck? Get out of here. And the wiki, I mean, obviously. Well, that was underwhelming.
applications.
But the recommended videos here should be interesting. Vanishing Flight 370, I mean, we watched that. Mortis. 21 minutes. The Great Silence.
Just let me know.
That's a cool name. Let me know.
In 1967, a postgraduate student at Cambridge University by the name of Jocelyn Burnell was surveying the sky with a newly constructed radio telescope. After a few weeks, she discovered something odd. The telescope had picked up a radio signal that seemed to be pulsating. The pulses had an interval of exactly 1.33 seconds and were initially thought to be nothing more than man-made interference. However, it soon became clear the signal did in fact emanate from deep space, and the unwavering precision of the pulses was unlike anything seen before. As such, many questioned whether it was a naturally occurring phenomenon or a transmission from another civilization.
I mean, before we get into this video here, there's a lot of things in space that are cyclical. There are, you know what, actually, one of these videos, hold on. Yeah, Thoughty 2. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna watch that after. But if you don't know, there's some very strange planets in the foreseeable universe. And it's not impossible that there's some celestial body that exists out there that's possibly oblonged in shape and rotating very quickly, producing this repetitive reflection of radio waves from deep space, which could be coming from any number of sources. So, I mean, there's that. It could be radiation coming directly from a star or, you know, some other source of radio energy. So, like, there's a lot of reasons that this could exist. But let's continue with the video. That's just my 2 cents.
Even named LGM-1, an acronym for Little Green Men, and Burnell herself could not help but wonder if she'd actually discovered the first sign of life beyond the Earth.
It is oddly reminiscent of a heartbeat, though.
As you might expect, it didn't take long for natural explanations to emerge, and we now know these pulsating signals to be produced by rapidly rotating neutron stars, known as pulsars, that emit beams of radiation akin to the beams of light emitted by a lighthouse.
That's what I meant
nothing else,
by
it made for a neat album cover. Ever since,
a
an
source
international
of
effort
radio
the
frequencies.
search for extraterrestrial intelligence has actively been listening for artificial transmissions, but so far we appear to be the only ones broadcasting into the void. Humanity has been leaking radio signals into space for the better part of a century, so any eavesdropping aliens within about 100 light years could potentially be alerted to our presence.
They could listen
Beyond
in on
this
Seinfeld.
invisible radio bubble enveloping some 15,000 stars, the Earth is just another silent speck. Not only that, but as technology improves, this radio leakage is dramatically reduced. Before long, Earth may return to a state of radio silence.
Wow.
If most civilizations improve and eventually outgrow radio technology at a similar pace, the radio signature of any one civilization may only be detectable for a very brief period of time.
That's a good
Furthermore,
point.
this radio leakage is extremely faint and only grows more and more diffused as it expands into the galaxy. Some of the most powerful signals to leak into space are military radar emissions and stand a much better chance of detection across interstellar distances than the average television broadcast. The Square Kilometre Array, a vast interferometer to be constructed in South Africa and Australia, could be sensitive enough to detect a faint radio signature of an Earth-like civilization out to a distance of several hundred light-years. To detect more distant signals would require more deliberate attempts at communication. For instance, an advanced civilization may construct powerful beacons specifically to increase their radio luminosity. These beacons would be rather expensive to maintain as they would consume vast amounts of energy for extended periods of time.
Build a Dyson sphere.
A less expensive alternative would be a focused beam of radiation as opposed to an omnidirectional broadcast. In 1974, the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico famously beamed an interstellar message towards a globular cluster some 25,000 light-years distant. The message took less than 3 minutes to transmit, so any prospecting aliens in the path of that signal would have less than 3 minutes to detect it, and they will never get a second chance. We may have been on the receiving end of such an interstellar message when in 1977, a momentary burst of energy swept across the planet. Repeated attempts at redetection notwithstanding, the famous WOW signal was never detected again, and its origin has never been conclusively ascertained. On the slim chance that it was of artificial
some aliens just on a spaceship streaming on their equivalent of Twitch, and they just get like some random, gobbledygook message from Earth in the chat, and they just are like, wow, LOL. And then that's the last thing we heard from them because they're a famous streamer and they're like, no gift subs, bro. Ignored.
Origin, a reply was beamed in the general direction whence it came in 2012. In a galaxy as old and vast as the Milky Way, the probability of two civilizations stumbling upon one another by briefly screaming in random directions is not great. To increase our chances, we need to limit our selection of targets by searching for other technological and biological signatures. In 1995, the first extrasolar planet orbiting a sun-like star was discovered. We now know that the vast majority of the hundreds of billions of stars in the Milky Way galaxy are home to at least one planet. We also know that billions of those planets are of similar size to the Earth and orbit within the habitable zone of a star similar to the Sun. This means that liquid water could exist on the surface, which is an essential ingredient for life as we know it.
I was going to say,
billions of
it's very Earth-centric of us to assume that every form of life requires water and the same temperature and climate that we do. But that's beyond the point. I guess the only kind of civilization we would want to find probably would be one that's comparable to ours. But even still, when we find them, what are we going to do? How are we going to communicate with them? They don't know sign language, probably. It would be incredibly unlikely.
Extrasolar moons may also be capable of supporting life. With this knowledge in mind, in 2017 a message was beamed towards one of the least distant and most Earth-like exoplanets discovered to date. The message comprised a number of musical compositions and basic information about humankind, and should the planet be inhabited, we could expect a reply as early as 2044. Here's a quick preview of that future. However, habitability is no guarantee.
Humanity ghosted, is that what that said?
However, habitability is no guarantee of habitation. To determine whether a potentially life-supporting planet is currently supporting life would require a more careful examination. For instance, by analyzing the starlight passing through the atmosphere of an exoplanet, it is possible to deduce its chemical composition. The spectrum of an oxygen-rich atmosphere will differ from that of, say, a hydrogen-rich atmosphere. Given that photosynthetic plants and organisms are responsible for the large quantities of oxygen on Earth, an exoplanetary atmosphere with a similar concentration of oxygen could be taken as a sign of life. This is known as a biosignature. but it's far from definitive, as oxygen could also be the result of various abiogenic processes. As such, astrobiologists are more interested in certain chemical combinations, as it would be far less likely for, say, methane and carbon dioxide to coexist in the absence of life. Speaking of carbon dioxide, some chemicals can be indicative of industrial pollution, and thus artificially induced climate change could serve as the universal sign of unintelligent life. In addition to
Unintelligent
biosignatures,
life.
we may be able to detect signs of technology. For instance, an exoplanet surrounded by a dense orbital belt of artificial satellites or space debris could be detected during transit of its parent star. This would be an example of a technosignature. A more extreme example would be a megastructure.
A Dyson sphere. I'm telling you, it's the way to go.
Enlisted is the free brand new online World War II shooter. Command a squad of soldiers and participate.
The initial speculation surrounding the discovery of pulsars has become somewhat of a recurring theme. Whenever an astronomical discovery initially defies explanation, vigorous speculation about aliens takes center stage. In more recent years, this discussion has been dominated by a peculiar star some 1500 light-years distant. The star exhibits erratic light fluctuations and occasionally dim by as much as 22%, and so one hypothesis is that an alien megastructure is blocking the light from the star. While evidence of astroengineering is still within the realm of possibility, the dimming is now thought to be caused by nothing more than dust.
Yeah,
The existence
see,
of
that's what I'm
circumstellar
saying.
megastructures was popularized by theoretical physicist Freeman Dyson back in 1960 as a potential means for advanced civilizations to harness the energy of their parent star, commonly known as the Dyson sphere or Dyson swarm. According to the Kardashev scale, a method of measuring a civilization's energy consumption proposed by astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev in 1964, a Dyson sphere would be indicative of a Type II civilization. A Type I civilization could harness the energy of its home planet. A Type II civilization could harness the energy of its parent star. A Type III civilization could harness the total energy output of an entire galaxy.
Talk about galaxy
Extensive
brain.
surveys of billions of stars notwithstanding, there is no reliable evidence of a Type II nor Type III civilization in the Milky Way galaxy. So
We could be the
far.
first.
What about extragalactic life? After surveying 100,000 nearby galaxies for signs of a Type III super civilization, astronomers found no signs of
Well,
a
yeah.
galactic empire.
I mean, come on. That's kind of a reach. Let's try and find a Type 2 or even another Type 1 first. I don't even know if we would be considered a Type 1 galaxy or society because we
The
waste
great
so much
silence of the
energy from our
universe can
own
be a
planet.
bit unnerving. Humanity is now on the verge of detecting biosignatures on extrasolar planets, but Earth has been radiating detectable biosignatures for billions of years. Yet, as far as we can tell, it's failed to attract the attention of any alien astronomers.
Like
The
a
apparent
streamer on
contradiction
Twitch.
between the expectation and lack of evidence for extraterrestrial life is known as the Fermi paradox. Given the sheer size and age of the universe, why does it appear to be so lifeless? It is possible to concoct a myriad of hypothetical solutions. Perhaps life is common, while intelligent life is exceedingly rare. After all, it took some 4 billion years of evolution and a number of mass extinctions before humans emerged on Earth. Proponents of the rare Earth hypothesis suggest that complex life on Earth is the result of an improbable chain of events, unlikely to occur more than once. Perhaps there exists a barrier, either improbable or impossible for life to overcome. If the barrier is behind us, we may be among the fortunate few to have crossed it. Potential candidates include the emergence of multicellular organisms and the invention of nuclear weapons. If the barrier is still to come, we may soon join the cosmological graveyard of fallen civilizations. Potential candidates include unsustainable climate change and the invention of nuclear weapons. Perhaps we severely underestimate how truly alien aliens can be. All life on Earth is carbon-based and rely on water, but life could hypothetically be silicon-based and thrive in oceans of liquid ammonia. Just as we search for life as we know it, aliens may be doing the same.
See, that's what I'm
Perhaps
saying.
an advanced civilization did in fact pay us a visit in the distant past. Unless some sort of evidence of that visitation survived for millions or billions of years, we'd never know. Even a visitation in the recent past could have been misconstrued as gods descending from the heavens. Well, I mean, that would have been a fairly accurate interpretation. Perhaps all civilizations inevitably develop technology that transcend physical reality. For instance, reality could be rendered obsolete by hyper-realistic simulations. By transferring one's consciousness into these virtual wonderlands, one could achieve digital immortality. The happenstance offerings of nature would struggle to compete with the promise of utopia. Throughout the galaxy, pockets of advanced civilizations
Yeah, but like, what about
occupy no more
food?
than a few star systems as they explore inner space in place of outer space. In his transcension hypothesis, futurist John Smart takes it a step further and supposed this introverted evolution.
What?
Futurist John Smart takes it a step further.
I mean, come on, bro. Your name is John Smart, and your title is futurist, bro? I guess you could say the stars aligned. I know. Hit that follow button for more top tier fucking galaxy brain comedy from Greensif.
And suppose this introverted evolution will progressively miniaturize computers until they are so intensely compressed that they generate an environment analogous to black holes. These post-biological civilizations would thus transcend the space-time continuum and vanish from the visible universe. Hypothetically speaking. Apart from artificial transmissions and distant signs of astroengineering, there's also a far less remote.
Yeah, until a meteor hits their planet and destroys their physical brains or whatever is hooked up to this computer system. Because nobody was watching the satellites because they're all living in a... I mean, that is the definition of carefree. They're just like hurtling through space on their rock, not giving a fuck, playing Apex Legends in their virtual reality, true first person. And then like a meteor just comes and ends it all and nobody even knew. That's the kind of society I want to live in, for sure. I would gladly take that over knowing when a meteor was gonna strike our planet and end us.
Form of technosignature.
Oh, fuck off.
The
Birthday
Voyager
gorilla.
spacecraft was launched in 1977, and as of the making of this video, it is the only probe to have reached interstellar space. It famously carries a golden record with information about mankind, but it will take another 40,000 years before the probe encounters another star. In an effort to more expeditiously explore the galaxy, an advanced civilization may launch sophisticated interstellar probes capable of self-replication. These probes would be intelligent enough to mine the available resources in any given planetary system to create
That's
copies
genius.
of themselves. These copies would then travel to neighboring systems and create additional copies. If these probes could travel at just 10% the speed of light, a speed attainable by modern methods of propulsion, every corner of the galaxy could be exhaustively explored in just a few million years.
Yeah,
A
but how are you
relatively
going to
short amount of time
transmit
on
that
cosmological
information
timescales.
back?
Mankind is now fast approaching the technological sophistication to launch such a probe. This begs the question, why is the solar system so probeless? If human progress is any indication, the galaxy should be completely overrun by self-replicating automata, yet we see no evidence of that. An ongoing hunt for alien artifacts has yet to locate any covert probes lurking in the solar system, but space is vast. An object of extrasolar origin could easily be zipping around.
Look, alright, if we've only explored 5% of our own ocean, you cannot tell me we have checked every goddamn corner of our own solar system, which is like fucking God knows how many times bigger than our ocean, bro. You cannot tell me we've explored the whole solar
Our
system.
cosmic
Fuck
backyard
off.
without our knowledge. In fact, that is exactly what happened in 2017. An extrasolar object named Oumuamua passed through the inner solar system and went completely unnoticed until it was moving away from the sun. Even then, its
Right.
discovery was pure luck, and thousands of extrasolar visitors could go undetected each year. The size and shape of Oumuamua can only be inferred by the amount of light it reflects, but it appears to be highly elongated or extremely flat. Initially, it was thought to be a comet, but the absence of a cometary coma, a trailing cloud of dust and gas typically formed when comets approached the sun, lent credence to it being an asteroid. But then the object began to accelerate. This acceleration would be consistent with the outgassing of a comet, but as mentioned, Oumuamua does not display the expected characteristics of a comet. One possibility is that this outgassing is simply too faint for us to detect, but there is that remote possibility of it being an interstellar probe. More specifically, a probe using a light sail as a means of propulsion. On the other hand, Oumuamua
what?
is perfectly radio silent. Perhaps it's a defunct probe destined to aimlessly roam the galaxy, much like Voyager.
You would think there would be
It's
a
important
radio
to remember that
broadcaster
with a
on
sample
that.
size of one, that being Earth, we cannot possibly know how common or rare life truly is. There could be hundreds of planets or millions of galaxies between us and them. If life was discovered elsewhere in the solar system, perhaps beneath the frozen mantle of Europa, we'd be able to compare and contrast two distinct sources of life and gain crucial insight into its commonality or rarity. Many reject the anthropocentric view of Earth as a cosmological oddity due to the sheer number of Earth-like planets coupled with the resilience of life on Earth. But the
Whoa,
truth is,
that one just looks cool as fuck. I don't know what it is about, like, the shape of that landmass. That just looks amazing. I need to know what planet that is so I can take a vacation there. Just like those, like, perfectly round bodies of water, like, with that big flat piece right in the middle. That's cool. Maybe it's just because it's, like, different from ours. You know, we have, like, these giant oceans, like, I'm like, nah, man, I just want a huge freshwater lake. Actually, I do not want that. Because I feel like a freshwater lake that big would create some horrifying creatures. Because from what I know, freshwater animals tend to get larger given the amount of space they have. Like, obviously, in the ocean, there's, like, fucking whales and, like, sharks and stuff. And God knows what else, fucking Cthulhu. But if a freshwater lake was big enough, like, think about carp. I don't know how many fellow rednecks there are out there, but carp are related to goldfish, and they're enormous. They're kind of like groupers. Like, groupers obviously get way bigger, but again, they're in the ocean. Fish tend to, like, grow to the size of their environment, so, you know. But, like, a carp that lived in an ocean that big? Oh, fuck no. No.
Resilience of life on Earth. But the truth is, we don't know. We don't know if billions of planets is sufficient for intelligence to arise more than once. We don't know the prerequisites for abiogenesis, the transition from non-life to life. We don't know the probability of cosmic solitude. But to conclude that we are alone in the face of all this ignorance is more than a bit presumptuous. The extent of our search for extraterrestrial intelligence has been compared to searching a glass of water for evidence of fish in all of Earth's oceans.
Right.
Space is unimaginably vast, and
Well,
we
I
have
mean, you
barely
would
begun
still-
to scratch the surface.
You-
There are so many untapped avenues for detecting signs of life that if we just turned that telescope a bit to the left, made it a bit larger, and listened to a slightly different range of frequencies, perhaps the universe wouldn't be so silent.
You would still find microorganisms in that glass of water from the ocean, but that's beyond the point. That sound, though, is perplexing. I don't know what the Great Silence has. Like, I was expecting, like, some constant sound that we've been hearing for, like, hundreds of years went silent. Like, that's what I was expecting, but, that sound is really something to think about, because ever since I mentioned that it sounded like a heartbeat, that's kind of been like stuck in my head. What if it's an enormous creature? Like, what if it's like, I know that's crazy. I know that's pretty out there and not likely. But like, what if it's like a giant living thing? Or what if it's like a huge civilization starship or something that has cloaking technology? Like, and for a sound like that, I mean, it would have to be, because if it was like someone trying to communicate something to us, it would be, like music or someone talking, or like, something indicative of a message, not just like, that repetitive thud noise. But then again, maybe that's the most efficient way. Like, maybe that's like the low poly sound that's the easiest to transmit or some shit. God knows what it is. Let's get into this, because this is something.
Let's talk cash.
Jesus Christ, how many fucking ads are you going to give me? I haven't used a non-premium YouTube account in a long time to watch videos. Like, I just upload on this account. I don't watch videos on this account. I watch them on my personal account. But this is how bad YouTube has gotten. The ads are unreal.
Video is brought to you by the fantastic, the estimated 4 million light planets currently in orbit, with the nearest being only 12 light years away from us. In space terms, that's essentially around the corner. Therefore, it is possible that far closer than you'd think, on another world very similar to ours, is another life form very similar to you, watching a video very similar to this one. And right now, it is hitting the subscribe button. Our universe is home to an incredible array of planets, some of which may astonish you. Planets are formed when dense disks of gas and dust start encircling young stars. When this happens, the gas and dust slowly accumulate, and through the process known as accretion, a brand new planet is formed, with its own peculiarities, bizarre qualities, and sometimes horrors. Many of these planets have features we can relate to and are similar to those in our own solar system that we can observe using low-tech telescopes, but others are so strange that they boggle the mind. For example, there is HAT P1b, a planet so bizarre it threatens to change the way we think about planet formation. Puffed up by heat seeping into the planet's interior, this so-called puffy planet is almost half the size of Jupiter, but has a density lighter than cork, which quite literally means it could float in water if we had a large enough swimming pool to dunk it into. Or consider J1407b, a planet with...
Actually think about that, though. The planet's density is small enough for it to float on water. That is incredible. And like he said, I mean, you would need an enormous swimming pool because it's half the size of Jupiter, and Jupiter is huge. But, man, that's crazy. The whole planet is pretty much cork. That's ridiculous.
So many circumplanetary rings that they have an outer radius of 90 million kilometers, 640 times that of Saturn. In other words, it's Saturn, but on cocaine. Or, finally, there is GUPSC-b, a planet with an orbit of 80,000 years, leaving you with a fair wait for your birthday. But those are just some of the strange planets. What about the frightening ones? The ones that make us look up at the stars and feel an unsettling, ominous sensation. The ones so dangerous and so creepy, you would never ever want to encounter them, as doing so would spell certain death. Well, to begin with, what if I was to tell you that there are some worlds that are quite literally the living dead?
Now,
Orbiting the
not
star
quite literally.
PSR B1257 plus 12, unsettlingly known as Lich, are 3 exoplanets, which are planets outside our solar system. These zombie worlds, individually known as Poltergeist, Drauga, and Phobator, exist in one of the most uninhabitable, terrifying corners of the universe. And the reason for that is quite simple. Lich, their star, is a pulsar, an undead star that constantly leaks horrifying quantities of electromagnetic radiation from its core. Such stars are even thought to be the possible source of ultra-high energy cosmic rays. This constant bombardment of radiation from the undead star's core saturates each of its orbiting zombie planets, meaning that if you were to step foot on any one of them, you would essentially be microwaved alive. But if you think that's bad, there is a planet where your death would be so violent, it gives a whole new meaning to the Chinese torture Ling Chi, otherwise known as death by 1,000 cuts. The extrasolar planet, HD 189733b, is beset by winds so frightening they are difficult to even comprehend. At 5,400 miles per hour, these winds blow across the entire planet at 7 times the speed of sound. And
7 times the speed of sound. I mean, a fighter jet can barely break the sound barrier, which is the speed of sound. The wind on this planet is 7 times that. Imagine the sound. The sound alone would kill you. The sound alone would blow your eardrums and kill you. Without a doubt.
And over 30 times faster than Hurricane Katrina. But before you think your death would come at the hands of being blown into something solid and spiky at such speeds, the winds alone would not cause your death. You would meet your
They
end
would, though.
when they combine with something much, much worse. With silicate-rich clouds teeming in the skies and a close proximity to its host star, this planet rains a lot. And when it does, it rains molten glass. Blown by the Mach 7 winds, this molten glass rains sideways and would rip your body to shreds in a hail of razor blades. Similar, and perhaps more frightening, is the exoplanet Ogle TR56b, the planet that rains molten iron. The most distant planet in the Sagittarius constellation, Ogle TR56, is theorized to have clouds made not from water, but from iron atoms. So whilst being torn to shreds by molten glass might disturb you, just imagine being encased in a downpour of molten iron, sealing you in a distorted Pompeii-like statue.
Hold on,
for
guys. I will be back
eternity.
momentarily.
But there's more. What if I
Won't
was
be
to tell
long.
you that there's an exoplanet that is basically a living hell? Called Kepler-70b, it is a planet that actually spent time inside a star. Now, whilst that might sound like every teenage boy's dream, it's far more like a horror movie than you'd imagine. Kepler-70b was plunged into the star's envelope, which is a part of every star not gravitationally bound to the star's core and formed by dense stellar wind. As this was during the star's red giant phase, the dying phase when the star is at its largest but with a cooler surface temperature, Kepler 70b survived, but it was left with one deadly attribute. It is now almost 7,000 degrees Celsius on the surface. In other words, it's a burning inferno that is hotter than the surface of the sun. It would quite literally burn you and everyone around you to ash in seconds. But not all terrifying planets are little known worlds thousands of light years from Earth. Some are much closer to home than you'd expect. Take Jupiter, for example.
Jupiter's a fucked up planet.
As you'll soon learn, belongs in a cheesy disaster movie because it has dozens of incredible ways it can kill you. Made of hydrogen and helium, trying to land on Jupiter is like trying to land on a cloud or mist, as it doesn't actually have an outer crust, it's just gas all the way through.
I don't believe it is gas all the way through. It's a lot of gas. It's a very huge atmosphere, but it does have a core, which eventually you could land on, because something that large, I mean, the gravitational pull at the center of that the atmospheric pressure would create diamonds if there's any carbon in the atmosphere at those deeper layers. And then the carbon, because of the pressure and heat, would be turned into diamonds and other gems. And it would create a very expensive core at the center of it.
But if, for the sake of argument, you
Which,
did attempt to
theoretically,
land on it,
you could land
you would
on.
encounter a number of blood-curdling problems. Your first issue would naturally be the lack of oxygen, which would starve your lungs, causing a slow fish-out-of-water death as you agonizingly gasp for breath. But 155 miles down would be where your real problems would begin. Rotating faster than any other planet in our solar system, with a day lasting only 9.5 hours, Jupiter is home to a hurricane twice the size of Earth. With 270 mile per hour storm speeds, that's constantly spinning and has, so far, lasted for 340 years.
Now, 340 years is nothing in terms of the solar system. But for a hurricane, that is very impressive. God-tier hurricane. But the thing that gets me is twice the size of Earth. Just think about that. I mean, when you see that red dot on Jupiter, think about the Earth crashing into it. The Earth itself would be half the size of that little red dot on Jupiter. It would barely affect Jupiter.
Sounds bad? Well, if you manage to survive that, you would be cut off from the outside world, because Jupiter's enormous, all-consuming atmosphere would absorb all radio waves and distress signals calling for help. But I wouldn't worry, because you'd soon be disintegrated by its 3,371 degree Celsius temperature. So hot it could melt the metal with the highest melting point in the universe, tungsten.
That we know of.
And all this before you even made it halfway through the planet.
I mean, we can. Can't we melt tungsten here on Earth?
Another planet potentially even more horrifying. Venus, commonly thought of as Earth's closest neighbor, although scientists now think that could actually be Mercury, is similar in many ways, but even more dissimilar and disturbing in many others. Covered in rolling dunes and mountains, Venus is also home to gigantic swarms of old lava flows. But these wouldn't be the main source of your problems. You see, the atmosphere on Venus is so thick, so poisonous, and so hot, it would kill you in 3 different ways at the same time. Hot enough to melt lead, you would burn alive. Pressure so great you would be immediately crushed, and an atmosphere so toxic it not only smells like rotten eggs, it would have you breathing huge quantities of carbon dioxide. And you would even be exposed to sulfuric acid that rains down in the upper atmosphere, melting your skin off your bones. But perhaps even more chilling is that Venus is theorized to have been habitable as recently as 1 billion years ago, although the planet has since been devastated by a runaway greenhouse effect. So, who knows what secrets or life may lurk beneath its sand? Speaking of secrets, there is a planet that exists that is almost as old as the universe itself.
Yes,
At
yes,
13
Earth.
billion years old and formed.
Yeah. It's just gonna be some, like, you know... What if there's a fire planet watching a video about Earth saying, "That's right, they rain water"? Woo! Look at these rings, boy! Yeah, that's right. Imagine if H.P. Lovecraft was around to see modern science. True. Space is a weird place, man. Space is a very strange, large, mysterious place. I love space, though. It really is. There's few things that I find as interesting as space. Now, we've kind of messed up our rabbit hole approach here. Maybe if we go back to the Great Silence, we'll get some more conspiracy theories. I know you guys are gonna be like, "Oh my God, big YouTuber, no, stealing content."
And his mom. Wait, Mom,
oh, and you had to bring Mr. Beast into this too. I just want to know what this game is called because I want to play it.
Earth will be subjugated and
Solar
crushed
Smash.
under my heel.
No,
And
this isn't the one I thought it was.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier,
This
and
is the
welcome
one.
back to Universe Sandbox.
Universe
Now, I haven't-
Sandbox. Universe Sandbox. $30. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I just want to add this to my wish list, though. I don't want to buy it right now. Sick. We'll do that one night. We'll do that.
I'm gonna react to a honey ad starring Mr. Beast.
So anyway, I want a short one because I took my sleeping medicine, so I'm on a limited time schedule. I'm forcing myself to sleep so that I wake up for work tomorrow because I have responsibilities. Because I'm an adult and it blows. Lost Colony of Roanoke, no. No, no, no. Which way is down? Ah, Vsauce. Absolutely not. Sorry, Vsauce, if you're watching this, but... You know how it be. Wait, did I even check? On my own channel, does it say that I'm live? It should. Yeah, okay. Sick.
just let me know.
Oh, we get it. You have a cool intro. Recently uploaded. In the world of conspiracy theories, this is what we want. I want something I want something that's gonna really shiver me timbers, you know? Honestly, let's just do an experiment here. So let's see what comes up. Theory: Disney films that will ruin your childhood. Randy? Conspiracy Randy? You've piqued my interest. Theories that will ruin your childhood. TikTok. Iceberg? Well, I don't think we can watch that on Twitch. Holy fuck, and it's in 8 parts that are 30 to 40 minutes long? Jesus Christ. No, dude, I'm here for like a quick spook. See, okay, yeah, that's some shit. Oh, that's some shit.
Okay,
right there.
at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones. Let me break it down. You got your new customer.
Remember going to Blockbuster to pick up a copy of Home Alone or pulling out the VHS tape of your favorite Disney movie as a child? Well, your memories of happy endings, perilous adventure, and great moments are about to be flipped upside down with some crazy movie theories. Theories involving serial killers, sad backstories, and connections to other film franchises, like Star Wars. So, chuck out the nostalgia goggles and get ready for a weird, wild ride down memory lane. But before you watch, click subscribe and join our notification squad to be first in the know for all our new content. And can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned at the end to find out.
Wow.
That one is Norbert.
Who would have guessed?
He's an idiot.
Minions Disturbing Origin. Who doesn't love Minions? The little yellow creatures have provided laughs through 4 different movies, including their own origin story in Minions.
I do
Talk
not
about
like
great plots and
Minions.
writing. While that movie attempted to showcase where the little creatures came from, the rumored theory is actually far more shocking and crazy to think about. After the release of the first Despicable Me film, which was really—
Now, hold on. I hold a lot less credibility in this video. This is more because I just want one of those cheap dime a dozen conspiracy theories that anybody could spew out of their asshole at any given moment. You're on the bus, guy tells you about how Minions are from fucking the 1700s and they murdered people or whatever this is going to be about. You know, you're sitting in class just trying to do your work and someone busts out the story of D.B. Cooper on you like you haven't heard it a bajillion times. You know, I just want one of those that I haven't heard.
Really great.
So
stories began spreading that the little creatures were actually created by Nazis. During the Nazi invasion, thousands and thousands of children were kidnapped. Several of them had medical experiments done to them, resulting in their death. Rumors
right.
grew that the surviving
It's called the
children of these
Holocaust.
experiments formed into the Minions that we see on screen today. This helps explain their odd speech patterns, the lack of 2 eyeballs in some, and their odd childlike shape that never grows into a full-sized human body. Thinking about this kind of takes some of the humor away when you consider their possible dark history. Along with these stories, a picture began circulating of children dressed in helmets that looked oddly familiar to the Minion head and goggle design. That picture was later debunked as an early submarine and scuba diving test image, but it hasn't stopped fans from digging further into the theory.
So it was debunked, is what you're saying.
Boo is a witch. She barely said any words, but one of the most lovable characters in the Pixar universe was Boo from Monsters, Inc. The little girl really connected with Sully, and many tears were shed when the two were forced to separate at the end of the film.
Spoiler
Boo
alert,
never
you
forgot
dick.
about Sully, and many fans have speculated that she spent her whole life looking for him again. Then, next time that Boo would supposedly pop up in a Pixar movie, she would look completely different. In the film Brave, Merida visits with an old witch that many people believe is Boo. Using the same magic doors that transported the monster
Well, now, hold on. I can debunk this right now. Brave obviously took place long before Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. is a technologically advanced world of monsters who have harnessed technology to the point where they can travel through portals in kids' closet doors to scare them and use their scare juices as energy to propel their fucking... I don't even know what they do with the energy. What do they do with the screams? How much energy is that in equivalency to, like, you know, burning fossil fuels? How efficient is it? Is it, like, up there with solar panels? Because it's pretty renewable. Kids scream for a long time until they grow up and become desensitized to things like jumping out of their closet when they develop, like, you know, sleep paralysis and stuff. But you can get some good screams out of a lot of kids. So, I mean, if they harness that, they are closer to a type 1 society than we are. Pretty soon they're going to be moving on to scaring the sun and making the sun scream. I got sidetracked. Monsters, Inc. is more advanced than Brave, therefore the witch in Brave could not be Boo from Monsters, Inc. because she would have grown up, not gotten smaller. Unless she used her witch powers, which...
Monsters, Boo was able to travel through space and time on her never-ending search for the big guy. One of the biggest pieces of evidence points to a carving of Sully that is featured in the witch's home. Boo also had a stuffed teddy bear that she loved to death. When Merida comes looking for help, she turns her parents into bears. Clearly, her favorite animal. If this theory is true, a crossover sequel featuring Boo and many Pixar characters could showcase her crazy travels through these magic doors.
Mermaid off the port bow!
Captain Hook killed Ariel's mother. For some reason, Disney characters have always had mother issues. Aladdin's mother isn't
Shadow
a picture.
Legends.
We witnessed the death of Bambi's mother. Cinderella has to deal with an evil
Get
stepmother,
addicted
and
to our
Belle is
game
being
and
raised
buy
by her goofy
$20
old
packs
father.
to
The
advance
same
your
can be said
characters.
for Ariel. In The Little Mermaid, Ariel is being raised by King Triton without any mention of her mother. Things change with the release of The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning. The story showcases Ariel's mother and her death at the hands of evil pirates. Two theories have mixed together to reach one horrific conclusion. Ariel's mother was murdered by Captain Hook. You have to go all the way back to the original Peter Pan to see the seeds for this theory. While in Neverland, Peter visits with mermaids. One of them has red hair and a similar look to Ariel. Rumors have persisted for years that this was her mother. These rumors increased with the release of Ariel's Beginning. The mother character has similar looks in the first scenes of the movie. The theory is that Hook hunted her down to get more information on the whereabouts of Peter Pan. Obviously, when she couldn't provide the information, he used that hook to dice her up and serve some mermaid sushi to his crew.
Another glorious morning. Makes me sick.
The fourth witch in Hocus Pocus. Through the years, Hocus Pocus has reached cult status thanks to the fun music, Halloween themes, and great acting by Bette Midler. While the Disney film focuses on three main witches,
I can't wait
the
for
theory
it to be
has developed over
Halloween
the
again.
years that there was actually a fourth witch in the film. Allison, one of the film's main characters, has been pegged as a protective good witch that sets out to destroy the Sanderson sisters before they can wreak havoc on her town. It makes sense that the city of Salem, Massachusetts would have more than just those three witches. The evidence quickly piles up to make the case. Allison's family has lived
I've
in the
never
town
seen
for more
this
than
movie.
300 years, dating all the way back to the Salem witch trials. Allison is the one who brings them to the witch's house and manipulates Max to do what she needs. She is also very knowledgeable about witchcraft in general and is a good source of information for the characters. By the end of the movie, she was able to protect her town, destroy the witches, and end the curse that had plagued Salem for so many years. If a sequel is ever made, this idea could be explored more, or maybe Allison will find her evil witch side.
Why did it look like
Idea could
she
be
shot a
explored
laser
more,
beam
or
out of her
maybe over
cock?
many years. If a sequel is ever made, this idea could be explored more.
First one that comes out is right out of her cock.
Or maybe Allison will find her evil witch side. Toy Story 3, and the Holocaust. Pixar
What?
movies are supposed to be happy events filled with wonderful characters, great comedy, and some of the most famous voices in Hollywood. The start of Pixar came with the release of the original Toy Story. After the first sequel, the franchise hit a dark tone for Toy Story 3. On the surface, there were scary and intense scenes involving Lotso Bear, stealth, and a huge incinerator. Never
Yeah,
mind
I
the fact
remember
that Bo
this.
Peep had completely disappeared from the group without a proper goodbye or explanation. Breaking down the film even further, and many fans have discovered the film's connections with the Holocaust. It may sound far-fetched, but there are a lot of similarities and connections to those terrible events. As Andy prepares to leave for college, he must leave his toys behind without much of an option. This parallels to the Jews being left behind by several
Not long.
nations.
Not
There's
long.
one point where Buzz
I'm gonna
Lightyear
be
even
hopping off
suggests
here
they
pretty
hide
shortly.
out in the attic, much like Anne Frank and others looking to escape. The Sunnyside Daycare is
Oh,
also a representation
damn, bro,
of the
that's
awful
rough.
concentration camps from the Holocaust. The dumpster and incinerator are similar to the terrible
That's
deaths
rough.
and gas chambers that many, many people suffered through. Yes,
That's
the
why I'm
dark and
doing
awful
YouTube
feeling.
night, because I'm just
Hopefully
kind of
Toy
like
Story
chilling,
4 is a little bit
not
brighter.
drinking Red Bull, drinking some water, watching ads,
With all the entertainment you love, like
you
Disney
know,
Plus, Hulu,
chilling.
ESPN Plus.
You're gonna make me watch this whole ad,
huh?
huh?
Game in glorious 5G. We're calling it the biggest upgrade ever because it is.
Bold move, considering I already have an iPhone managed by Verizon.
The deaths in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Even multiple decades later, The Nightmare Before Christmas remains one of the most
But yeah,
creative
dude.
children's movies ever made. The
Yeah.
songs, sets, animation, and
Yeah.
story have all mixed
That's
to
the night
create
we're
classic
having.
film moments and iconic characters. that
How
are a
is
huge part
Blue?
of
How
our
is my
culture.
voice
Among
over
all
the
unique
video?
parts,
Can
the
you still
characters
hear
really
me when
stand
the
out.
video's going on?
While they may all look like unique designs from the mind of Tim Burton, there is a theory that each character design has a deeper meaning. Actually, each member of Halloween Town showcases the gruesome death they suffered before getting banished there. Jack Skellington was burned and can now handle all types of fire and flames. Sally was dismembered, the evil scientist was poisoned, the mayor broke his neck, the Oogie Boogie was skinned alive, and if that's not morbid enough for you, then take a look at the puppy in Children. Zero was electrocuted, represented by his glowing nose. Lock, Shock, and Barrel suffered being frozen alive, a drowning, and an apparent suicide. The next time you watch the film, you can see the little character details that represent these violent deaths and the reason that these dark characters are in Halloween
I
Town
love this
in the first
movie.
place.
Two can be as bad as one.
Donkey?
Donkey's backstory from Shrek. In the film Shrek, there are all sorts of crazy characters running around that it's very easy to think nothing about a wisecracking donkey that seemingly came from nowhere. A number of the film's characters came from real fairy tales, and Donkey is completely original. While Donkey loves to butt heads and cause trouble, there is clearly a troubling past that he came from, and theories often point to the world of Pinocchio. One theory that has caught a lot of steam involves a strange land in Pinocchio known as Paradise Island. It's on this island where young children are turned into donkeys, and that's exactly what people think happened to Donkey.
Oh,
It makes sense,
actually?
too. Pinocchio appears in Shrek. Many characters are surprised to meet a talking donkey, and he often alludes to his terrible past. During an exchange with Puss in Boots, Donkey even states,
Some things are better left unsaid and leave it at that.
Donkey even talks about a past where he received childhood pranks.
Wedges and swirlies.
That sounds like some type of child to me. As plans for a Shrek reboot are in the works, maybe the new film will dive more into his past and if he truly was once a human.
A little weight? Does this look like a little weight to you?
Bernard's sad backstory. On the surface, The Santa Claus is a great family film that focuses on the magic of Christmas.
Didn't see this one
believing in
either.
Santa Claus and spreading a lot of Christmas cheer. When you break the elements down, it's really about a bitter divorce, tough custody case, and the death of Santa Claus. When Scott Calvin becomes the new Santa Claus, none of the other elves even bat an eye or mourn the previous old man in charge. The only person that seems a little upset at the idea is the head elf known as Bernard. He may be upset for a good reason. Bernard was the son of the Santa Claus that got killed. It all adds up, really. His attitude, his larger size than the other elves, how he understands the Santa Claus and the magic of the suit so well. One of the biggest clues comes during his scenes with Charlie. Bernard is very understanding and compassionate with Charlie, working with him to adapt to his new life on the North Pole. He also gives him a special snow globe that gives him access to his dad.
Without the
anytime he
context of
wants.
this movie, this
Bernard
guy
clearly used
seems
this
like a
same
villain.
Snow globe with his own father.
Ah,
E.T. is a Jedi.
Yeah.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial is its own film, without any sequels or a huge franchise around it. Despite
I'm
this,
backing
many fans
this
have found
one.
connections to some other huge science fiction franchises. One of the most prominent, Star Wars. In the original film, there are 2 Star Wars connections. One where Elliot plays with action figures from the movie. In another scene, E.T. approaches a trick-or-treating child dressed as Yoda and says, These moments all seemed innocent until Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out in 1999.
I wish they would
During
make a
multiple
good
scenes,
Star
alien
Wars
species
game.
very similar to E.T. can be clearly seen in the backdrop of large scenes, like the Senate. This has allowed viewers to conclude that not only is E.T. a part of the Star Wars universe, but the small alien may actually be a Jedi.
Yeah,
He
that's
clearly
what.
knows who Yoda is and has showcased similar abilities to using the Force. In
Yup.
the film, E.T. makes flowers come back to life, uses the Force to connect to Elliot, and can make bicycles fly through the air. It's no Millennium Falcon, but it sure comes close. It would be awesome to see more of the E.T. characters in the Star Wars franchise, or this theory explored a little further.
Yeah, that one's actually crazy.
Hello.
Kevin is Jigsaw. In Home Alone and Home
I could
Alone
see it.
2, the biggest highlights of the film is watching Kevin plan and execute his crazy booby traps on would-be bandits Marv and Harry. While his childlike
Poor
tendencies
Marv
for
and
holiday-themed
Harry.
violence may be cute and fun to watch, we have to wonder, what if Kevin grew up to become obsessed with torturing people and inflicting even more pain through his traps? Many theories have come out stating that Kevin is actually the infamous Jigsaw from the Saw film series, despite the timelines not fully matching up. Continuity be damned, there are too many similarities between the two characters to ignore this killer theory. For example, Kevin obviously has anger issues and gets a lot of pleasure out of causing pain to his victims. After Marv and Harry were eventually stopped,
I always
Kevin
thought that
grew up
about that
craving
movie.
the need to torture and torment others around him. The pressures of society eventually led him to set up his game and get the revenge that he always wanted. There are many examples that can be seen in the Saw franchise, but one of our favorites is the evil furnace from the first Home Alone, which is eerily similar to a furnace trap set in the film Saw 2. We'll have to wait and see if any more Home Alone connections are made in the upcoming
I was
horror
gonna
film,
say,
Jigsaw.
please
At
don't
the very
show
least,
any
we're certain that
Jigsaw
Jigsaw was a
clips.
fan of Kevin's antics. Well, there you have it. What theory do you think has the most truth
Yeah,
behind it?
thank you.
Are there any crazy ones that we missed?
Thank you for
Let us
not
know in
getting
the
me
comment
banned
section below.
from Twitch. Oh. Alright, boys. Oh, it's getting close to that time. I'm gonna pass out here probably in the next like 10-15 minutes. So, I gotta walk all the way upstairs, lay down in bed and get YouTube on, and that'll be that. So, that being said, go here, get a little bit of some light going on so you can see me. I'm not just skulking back here in my dark corner. Tonight was a really good night. I actually really enjoyed doing that. I am greatly looking forward to having people come along with me in the chat and you know, provide their input on the videos that we watched here tonight. I know conspiracy theories might not be your thing. It might keep you up at night or whatever, but we can find other bizarre things on the internet. That's really all I care about, is if it's bizarre. 'Cause, look, I have been on the internet for a long time. I have seen Charlie the Unicorn. I have been watching Markiplier since 2012. I saw Tobuscus. I saw the ASDF movies. I played games on StickPage. Blue and I have been immersed in the internet for a long time. So now, naturally, as I start to come up to that ripe old age, I'm 23 now, I'm not in the loop with as many obscure internet entertainment sources as I used to be. So it's up to the chat to give me some insight on what I should watch. I'm going to have faith in you to not bring me garbage. I mean, I'll be straight up honest with you on these YouTube nights. Like, if it's something I've seen or something that I don't want to watch, that sounds boring, not doing it. Sorry. That's the way it goes. But, yeah. So, that's where this, the culmination of this stream will be. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. It's been a pleasure, as always, connecting with you guys. And, yeah, if you weren't here for the live stream, if you're watching this in the future out there, you goddamn time travelers, follow on Twitch for sure so that you can catch me next time I'm online. Follow on YouTube because that is another great place to see videos that I upload that I don't upload on Twitch. On YouTube, I'm planning on doing some like Let's Plays and stuff where it's not a live interaction kind of thing. It's something more where I'm going to get into the story and really immerse myself in the game. So if that's your thing, you like to watch people on YouTube do that, I will be creating content in that capacity coming soon. So go subscribe. We're up to 12 subscribers right now. Making big boy moves. Woo! And join the Discord if you want to become a member of the Founders Club. Those special first 100 viewers. You guys, the first 100 supporters of my channel will have an unbelievable amount of gratitude and recognition from me forever. I am not, like, that's the thing with when it fills up to 100. People are going to leave the Discord. People are going to fall off and go silent. And unfortunately, we're going to have to remove them. But the next people in line are those people that just barely missed the cutoff. So, you know, there will be some spring cleaning episodes here and there. But as long as you're an active member in the community, you got nothing to worry about. Your spot is secured. You bought your $100 worth of Amazon stocks in 1998, and you're on your way to be a millionaire when I'm a millionaire. You know, a social millionaire. So, yeah, that's the rundown on the Founders Club. Link is pretty easily accessible. Shoot me a message on Twitch. Shoot Blue a message on Twitch. Either of us will be able to Bluesif. Same way you spell mine, but blue instead of green. Bluesif, he can send you a link to the Discord if I'm not around, which I have 6 days of work ahead of me and then a day off and then 6 more. So, and a car that's riding the rails, baby. This bitch does not care. Does not care. Just got a 4th brand new engine rebuilt. They took the bottom half of the engine block completely off. The only thing they kept was the valve cover. They took this whole fucking bitch apart. And I go to start it up to leave the dealership. I'm like, finally back in my own car. Not that I didn't like the rental. Rental was a nice Kia Soul. But, you know, just want to get back to my own car. Peace and quiet. Wrong. I was gravely wrong. It started shuddering as soon as I turned it on. The idle is loping. And it sounds like you put like fucking 262 fucking Skunk 2 cams in this fucking engine. Like literally it's like it's scary. It's not supposed to do that. It's a 2013 Kia Sorento. Which yeah. Before you jump down my throat. Yes, I know. 2012, 2013 Kia Sorento. Theta 2 engine. There's a recall on that, bro. Go get it fixed for warranty. Yeah. That's the problem, though, is that they keep putting it back in the car. They keep putting the broken engine back in the car. Or the broken parts back into the car that broke it in the first place. I was down in Albany when my car broke down last time. You know how much it costs to tow a car from Albany up to undisclosed general vicinity? I'll use another neighboring city that's not mine. South Glens Falls, if you know where that is. Queensbury. That general area is where I had to tow my car to from Albany. Two weeks after I got it back from the shop. And then when it was done, from when it went down to Albany and died, it came back. They fixed it. The very next day, I drove it to work. And it had critical engine failure at a gas station that I stopped at on my way to work to get a pack of Jewel Pods. And I was late to work. Now, I got the car back yesterday. And now I have to drive the car 20 minutes away to a different city, down to Saratoga area. And boy, I tell you what, I do not have much faith in this car. If it breaks down on the Northway, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna get one of those like high-speed professional biking bicycles that go like 30 miles an hour or whatever, sometimes 40, I think. I'm just gonna buy one of those and fucking ride that to work. Leave an hour and a half early. Ride my bike down the fucking Northway. All ass. Yeah, I can move my nose ring with my nostril. Pretty cool. But yeah. Yeah, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm rambling. That's usually what happens. That's my body's way of telling me, stop being a bumbling fool and go to sleep. And I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep. But then the medicine is like, nah, fam. You're going to sleep. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about at this point. Welcome to the inner... You guys got a personal peek of me tonight. Welcome to the inner workings of Greensift's brain. I do sincerely hope to see some more people here over in this stream chat. It would really warm my heart. I'm really trying to, right now I'm trying to hit, see, when I start forgetting things, that's the telltale sign. You know, Twitch has like their ranking systems. You're gonna make me do this? You're gonna make me do this. One of them is affiliate. Partner. You're gonna make me do this? Partner and affiliate. You're gonna make me do this. Partner and affiliate. I'm really trying hard to reach partner and affiliate sometime soon. And what really just blows my mind is, and I'll pull this up again, I have no shame. I will shame all of you with this every opportunity I get. Now that I'm relevant enough to have channel analytics, I can shame you publicly for the things you've done to me. The problem here is that I stream a lot. I do. 138 hours streamed in the last 30 days. I think that's a lot more than you usually like work at a job, right? Because like, no, I guess if you work 40 hours a week and there's 4 days in a week, that's 160. So like I'm doing like a full-time job's worth of work here, making these streams, trying to come up with ideas for like what people want to see. You know, I gotta have, and the best resource for that is the Discord, really. Like there's discussion channels, and there's plenty of ways to get your ideas out there into the community where, you know, I might see something in there and make a whole video or even a whole stream about it. I'm not crazy on making YouTube videos because I don't get the instant gratification that I get from Twitch. On Twitch, people pop up in the chat, say what's up, keep me entertained, you know, like, it's just like a chill vibe out session with the homies. And I love that shit. I absolutely love that shit. But making YouTube videos, I understand the necessity to do that because you can edit them and you can make them a little bit more tailored to the person that just wants to watch a few minutes of a video on YouTube. So the main problem is my average viewer count, because let's see here. Where are the here's path to affiliate. Average of 3 viewers. And I don't know why that's there. Yeah, if you're just gonna take me. Why? Anyway. 21 out of 7 different days, 137.28 out of 8 hours required. Really think about that. And then 50 followers, which we just hit recently, and I'm super proud. So, you know, we just got that average viewer count. It's really boning me, and it's because of the length of my streams. Because people don't have the attention span. And I'm not trying to turn around on people not having an attention span. But I'm saying that the system is flawed. The average viewer thing is fraud. Because if you streamed for an hour every day, what the fuck? Wow, that's really weird. It's clipping into my... What the fuck? I don't know, man. I think that's just an optical illusion. But, like, on my screen, that looks like 3D as hell. Like, that looks like just, like, something I could just, like, grab. It's very strange. Anyway. If you post a 2-hour stream 3 times a week, that's 12 streams a month. And yeah, you get consistent viewers on those. You get 3 viewers per stream on those. There you go. There's your 3 average viewers. But when you stream every day and amass 137.28 hours in 30 days of streaming, it makes your average so small. Because yeah, I might be getting those viewers that those people on the 2-hour streams are getting, but you know, I'm not retaining those people. There is no way to retain those people. It's, you know, so it's with long streams like that, it's all about just like having a constant cycle of people coming and going as convenient. So, I don't know. I think that there's some time frame issues to work out with that, because I am a nocturnal animal that sleeps in the bright sun in my coffin, and then when it's nighttime I awaken and I am energized by the pale moonlight, and I go out and I fulfill my underworldly duties. But yeah, the schedule could be better. Either way, guys, I appreciate you all a ton. And I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because the existence of people willing to watch a stream, whether they have a need to watch a stream, you know, because it helps with their anxiety, it helps them work, to have, you know, background noise, maybe even someone you know speaking in the background, you know, I'm gonna hit puberty soon, guys. It's coming, trust me. I'm gonna turn into Giga Chad when it does. And then other people like to sit around with all their homies and watch a stream. You know, it's just there's a lot of ways to enjoy stream. And you know, nobody says you have to be here for the whole thing, but anybody out there that really wants to support me, share the channel with people, share it in Discords, Just get people into that Discord. Get that Discord populated. I want to meet some new friends in the Discord, and I want to really start building a strong community. So, if you guys are on board, first step is to hit the follow button. I know, trust me, that's the hardest part. It's the hardest part, I know. Press the follow button. This part's even harder. Scoot on over to YouTube and drop the subscribe. And join the Discord, man. Because if you're in the Discord, you're one of us. Really. Like, honestly, I can tell you, Odelmo is in the Discord. Shout out Odelmo. The fucking man. Asking questions about Apex all the time. You got Sweet Limes, which is Spring. You may know them by. Spooky. Spooky, the most avid, supportive person I know. Met on Discord through Rust, ironically. Yeah, I mean, that's my outgoing statement on this whole shebang. And I know it seems like an advertisement or like me begging you to, you know, go out and do extra work, which you're not obligated to. But if you have the same vision as me of seeing this community get to the size that I know it has the potential to get to and ascend, then yeah, all it takes is just like a small amount of enthusiasm. Just when you see the stream pop up on your phone or on your computer, whatever, just click it, come and say what's up. I'm going to be doing some goofy shit, I'm sure. And feel free to just communicate. Let me know what's going on in your life. Anything you can think of. Any funny comment. Pop in and be like, hey, listen, I got a question for you. And I'll be like, yeah, what's going on? And you can be like, is Hulk Hogan's mustache sexy or scary? How I'd respond to that, I might have to get back to you. Further analysis is required. But yeah, you can come in and say anything. Literally anything. You can come in and just spam POG. Like at this point, if that's what's going to get you here, if that's what you've been waiting for this whole time, you're like, oh my god, we can say POG on his Twitch channel now. POG, 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 POG. Like the seagulls. You know the seagulls. If that's what it takes, I'll allow it. Not necessarily the culture I'm trying to pursue here, but hey. I'm no cult leader. Yet. It takes time, you know? It's not an overnight process. So, it's up to you. You know, you guys, the community determines the community values. I just have to set the guidelines. So, as long as POG doesn't become like a racial slur or something, I think its chances are pretty good. And there's a rumor of a POG champ emote, exclusive emote, floating around, maybe. You'll have to stay tuned for that little Easter egg. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna hop off. I really do appreciate you guys. I know I'm overboard with it sometimes. I know. But you really have no idea the opportunity that you are creating for me. Because, let me get real here for a minute. With conventional jobs, I've always had a problem because there's somebody there physically telling me what to do. And I know that that may sound silly. And it also may sound like, yeah, that's everybody's problem with a job. But it's different for me. It's when a manager tells me what to do, my first question is naturally why. Because I'm trying to assess, is this task going to provide a net benefit to the store? Like, and I'm not particular. It can help in the mildest of ways, but it has to help, you know? But they will not accept that. They will get mad and write you up and send you home for disobedience. So, I can't tell you how many times I've left jobs on terms like that. One job at a warehouse, I broke my wrist and they gave me $300 for compensation. And I was like, do you think that this is going to cover half of an x-ray? I was like, that is not, you know. So they gave me that, and then I put my 2 weeks in that day with a broken wrist. Left-handed. So no one could read a damn thing on that. Yep. Good times. Good times. Alright, boys. I've rambled on long enough. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Wish me the best of luck. Keep me in your dreams. Think about me tomorrow when I'm struggling at my new workplace where I'm unfamiliar with things and probably getting yelled at for doing things wrong and being made fun of because I wear foundation and I am a man. Look, man, some men just want to look good. Oh, that's all there is to it. That's a question I get a lot, actually, is, do you wear makeup, bro? And that extends beyond my Twitch career thus far. Before I was on Twitch, it wasn't uncommon for me to wear eyeliner, you know, foundation, and I had a lot of scary, crazy tattoos and piercings. Still have the scary, crazy tattoos. Can't get rid of those. But I did have to get rid of some of my piercings. So, there's a little backstory on Greensif. A little bit of lore. Go ahead and clip that. Put it in your lore folder. So you can piece it all together later on down the road, like one of those maniacs that we were watching on YouTube tonight. Make all the connections. But yeah. You guys are the fucking greatest, man. I cannot express to you my gratitude. So, keep doing what you're doing. Please feel free to come and join us as part of the community. It really, really, truly means a lot to me and to Bluesif. I know it sounds like what you would expect at the end of a overproduced YouTube video, and a lot of people are trained to think oh, they say this at the end of the video every time, and it doesn't actually mean anything. I've been subscribed for 3 years. You know, he's just trying to get new people in and shit like that. And, like, I am trying to get new people in. That's exactly what I'm doing here. 100% transparency. But with a community that barely exists as it is, that's where the opportunity comes in. That's where I have something to offer you in return for that interest in my endeavors. My yahi, my yaha, my yahoo. My Discord will provide a vast community of other like-minded individuals for you to talk to in the appropriate channels, see people's artwork, see people's pets, see funny memes. You know, it's like Facebook but better. Really, because there's no bullshit timeline where it's just spewing garbage at you from any possible source. It's just whatever channel you're in, there's the homies talking about something. You know? You go over to another channel, the pets channel, just people talking about their pets and posting pet pictures. It's exactly what you would expect. So, and not to mention there's cool roles in Discord. That's where you get the Founders Club role. And that's your badge of approval that proves for all of eternity that you were here in the beginning. When this whole production started. You know, these stats right here. We can watch these grow together. And that's real. You know? That would have an incredible impact on my life. You know? Honestly. So all I ask is that you do what you can to support, and at the very least, if you want to go the extra mile, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, do those things. Follow on Facebook, I guess, if that's your thing. I don't stream there anymore for reasons that Facebook knows about. DMCA. For not copyrighted music. But I do post some funny memes and such over there once in a while. So, I'd like the Greensif Facebook page just kind of to be like memes and like sprinkle in a few memes of me, you know? Just get a little self-promotion in there and then maybe draw in some meme crowd. That'd be cool. Having a meme squad. I'd love that. I would absolutely love that. So, yeah. Thank you guys. Again, for like the 400th time. Thank you guys. I appreciate the commitment to watching somebody stream that's as inexperienced as me. I don't know, man. I sit down at computer, turn computer on, open OBS, do thing. You know? The webcam is a whole nother story. That can be tricky. But beyond that, I mean, it's not rocket science, and I haven't quite figured out what people want to see specifically, but at this point, I'm kind of just taking the approach of like, well, I'm gonna show them what I would show my friends, you know? Like, when I think of a video from now on that I'm like, man, I want to show my friends that, I'm gonna stream it and hopefully share it to you guys. And that being said, I consider you friends. Even you, Blue. Even you. Just kidding, pal. Blue and Spooky and Wet Gala are all already friends. They're all friends. But in the Discord server, man, it's pretty desolate here, man. We got Shy. There's a member of the Founders Club. Nirvana. That's our buddy. Spooky. Creeping. Creeping in the shadows. Was this one even as good as I thought it was? Or is this just like a B-tier Bamboozle that I thought was super cool?
Bam! There goes a boozle, or something like that.
You've been bamboozled. Man, the squad's real elusive. They usually just charge head first. Oh, right there. Pop someone's shield.
That was such an OP fucking... Oh my god! That actually was. That actually was.
Yep, behind us.
They're fucked. Dude, that was so ridiculous, bro. Oh my god, dude, talk about fucking bamboozled. Video.mov. Video.mov. Oh. I hit the moth. POV, you're a giant fucking gross moth. Bah!
Target's right in front of me.
And some high octane actual gameplay. Just so you guys can get your fix tonight. Remind you of what you're missing out on. I don't think so, Pat. Yeah. I like to tease myself. Can't play any fucking Apex Legends tonight. Guys, it is well past my bedtime. I need to be up in my bed ASAP. I am tired. That's a good thing. Yep, there's another one. Gotta work tomorrow. Shit's gonna be whack. Gotta get as much sleep as I can. So, I love you. You're all cuties. Don't ever forget that. Good night.